Hi guys, welcome back to the Soccer Kicks channel where I give you a full review of football boot releases as well as tips and tricks to get the most out of your product. Today we have the Nike Mercurial Superfly 10 and Vapor 16 to go over, so let's get right into it. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really excited about this release and was hoping it would be a true upgrade to the last generation. It feels like the Mercurial in recent years has sort of lost its DNA along the way, but I think you'll find that this generation should help put this silo back on track. This is now the 10th generation of the Superfly and the 16th generation of the Mercurial. As of late, no differences between the two other than the collar, which is reflected in the price point. The Superfly model is priced at $300 while the Vapor model sits at $275. I'll note that because this was sort of a limited release, you'll find the regular Superfly colorways priced at $285 and the Vapor being at $260. The upper is Nike's synthetic material they refer to as Flyknit, which is also used on the Phantom GX 1 and 2. It's quite soft and can really stretch, making them wrap nicely on your feet. It's not as stretchy as the first Phantom GX, but it's in that neighborhood. Because of the stretch, it does suffer in the lockdown department, but the material is such a positive, I don't really care for the small loss in lockdown. When comparing it to the Phantom GX2, you'll feel that these are much thinner. The thickness sits between the GX1 and the GX2, which is a happy medium. The upper also includes grip knit, which is a sticky material. It's not quite Predator-like stickiness, but it should help a little when you're controlling the ball and dribbling. Although I would think that you wouldn't want a sticky surface on the outside of your foot so the ball doesn't stick, so that's a bit counterintuitive in my opinion. Running them the size towards your heel, you see a clear difference of material. The material running through the back is Atom Knit, which is a more structured version of Flyknit that Nike uses on their Alpha running shoes. This gives you support and helps keep everything in shape. In terms of the sole plate, there's a slight update from the previous Air Zoom Vapor, but you can probably conclude this is one of the most aggressive sole plates Nike has ever come out with. You'll notice that Nike has gone back to the chevron studs and have done away with the last generation triangular studs. These will focus a bit more on giving you more bite as you move forward as opposed to several directions like the last Mercurial. In terms of snap, these feel a little less responsive in that regard, but in exchange we do get a little more comfort with a plate that is more flexible. You also have the Air Zoom unit that makes you feel like you have a little cushion under your feet, but nothing crazy. Running down the middle of the forefoot are these waves that are meant to engage more of the Air Zoom so that you can feel the bounce in the forefoot. But again, it wasn't something that was super noticeable. In terms of fit, they're pretty comfortable out of the box, especially for a speed boot. The only real difference between the Superfly and Vapor is of course the compression up your ankle that the Superfly version provides. I'm not usually a fan of the collar, but this is one of the best ones in recent years. The fit and feel sort of remind me of the Superfly 4 and 5, as those were really the only collars I didn't mind. With this generation, I also feel like you get a more one-to-one feel on the ball as there's less material between your foot and when making contact with the ball. Judging by the initial fit and feel, I would say these would probably take about 4 to 5 sessions to break in. I will add that if you have wide feet, these may not be for you, but they are certainly slightly wider than the last generation and the upper stretch does help. If you're looking at trying out a pair for yourself, I would recommend going true to size on both of these. I normally wear a size 8 US and the ones on my feet now are a size 8 US. Now let's review the biggest win and loss of these boots. The win here is that I feel like this release has helped put the Mercurial back on track. It's innovative with the upper, they've gone back to a more traditional Mercurial sole plate, and the shape plus material of these opens up the opportunity for more people to try them. This is definitely a step up from the last few generations. The biggest loss is that I think this generation of Mercurial could have made more headlines had they gone back to the way they used to release the Superfly and the Vapor. Meaning the Superfly was a slightly different upper than the Vapor. This was part of the package with the first few Superfly releases, and it was the Superfly 4 and Vapor 10 when they really nailed it. Both uppers were incredible and it really came down to preference at that point. That's the Nike Superfly and Vapor for you. I'll leave a few links in the description in case you're interested in buying these. If you have any questions or opinions about these, leave them down below and I'll answer them as they come. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. See you on the next one.